Okay. Sorry. Sorry about being a little late. It wasn't my fault. It was it was Google's fault. I mean, it decided that it just wanted to take a really long time updating the map today. When I imported it, it decided it would be more fun. It literally took me 45 minutes to import the map today. So yeah, so that's why we're late. I tried to start it early and it decided to take 45 minutes. So, happens sometimes, I guess. Uh, yeah, Constantine will be right back. I think he, went to get a beer or something. And, we're all good. Everything's fine. Is this, zoomed in enough for you to, like, read it? It should be okay, right?
I
Uh,
am back.
Constantine's back.
Hello, everyone.
Oh yeah, Constantine. I will stream it to you so you can watch it without a like 30-second delay. Uh,
Gotcha, that would be great.
there you go. That should do it, I think. Okay. So oh yeah, I guess we could start with Nova Hakovka. Um, I hate to burst your bubble, but Russia did not surrender this this city. It's not true. Uh, Russia did not withdraw. It's not surrendered. Um, yeah, it's I don't know if it was miscommunication or someone was just drunk or what, but it is not true. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to burst your bubble.
Who said that? Who said that Novakahovka? Like, what was the
The
initial
general
source?
staff, they like made an official announcement and then they had to post an official unannouncement. It was pretty embarrassing. Everybody was freaking me out. I had like 500 DMs. Like everybody was like, "Oh my god, they did we capture it?" Like no, they didn't capture it. They didn't leave. It's ridiculous. It's just But yeah, there was another thing happened today. I marked it on the map. Actually, I don't know if this was today, but the video came out today where in this little this island here, that's a little bit south of Kherson. Um, there are a bunch of little Russians with their little boat. They put their boat about right here in this little uh, dock or whatever. Anyway, and they were then attacked by Ukrainian artillery of some sort, maybe mortars or something. But there was one mortar hit right here, which missed, and then there was another one here, which I think also missed, or maybe that was a hit. I'm not really sure. And then they flew in a little drone and dropped a grenade on it and broke their little dinghy. So that
Oh,
was
let me. Have you seen the video of that,
yeah, yeah.
or what?
I don't know if I can show that video, but that's basically what happened, and it happens right there. Um,
You cannot show the video, or
I don't
what?
know.
What
I
did
don't
you?
know if I can show the video. I have the video. I'm kind of
Let
scared to
let
show it.
me let me show you the video. Does the video have what they're used to attack?
I do not. It was. I think it was a mortar. Um, to attack. I think
Yeah, let
it.
me show you the video from my friend over there.
Okay.
Mm. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, but it was a little rubber dinghy. So it was right there. It was near Oleshki and
No, that's
Kherson.
probably that's probably another video, but it's still from there and happened yesterday as well. Doesn't have too much damage, but it's fun video. Give me 1 second. I'm emailing it to you.
Okay. And
Attaching it right.
and then in Hola Pristan, they blew up a ammo depot today. Ukraine blew up an ammo depot, which was pretty cool. They blew up a lot of ammo depots. I don't think the depots are very big. I think when they say an
No,
ammo depot, it's not like 80,000 rounds. It's like
it's more
maybe
like stash, ammo
yeah
stash, probably.
Yeah, it's like a
So
little.
you afraid to show the video because you don't want to be banned on YouTube, or because
Yeah, we've already been banned from. Well, not banned. We've been suspended from one. I don't want to get suspended from the other.
yeah, we
Uh,
will go to the tram platform. How was it called there?
there are other platforms, but I like. Also, this is like my actual like YouTube account. Uh, but anyways, so we can kind of did you?
You can show the video that I have shown. It has nothing. Like there are no blood and gore. It's just our guys working on one of those islands. So I would appreciate if you show it.
Okay, well we better not get banned.
This, no, you're not. If you get banned, I will propose you my deepest condolences.
Yeah. I don't know if I can play the sound. Maybe I can. I have to open it with my other app though, because it's really annoying playing sound in this. The way I have it set up, it's hard to play sound. Here I will try to play sound. Open with this app. Can you hear this? I don't know. If you can't hear it, then I can't play it with sound.
Are you asking me? I can hear it. This is S-60 gun, Soviet anti-aircraft gun that territorial defense mounted on the truck and is using it to hit one of those islands and using the drone to correct the artillery fire. Uh, did you restart the video?
Yeah,
Oh,
this is loud as hell.
yeah. I don't hear it. I don't hear it when I'm watching the stream, so I'm just watching it. But I think it's like looping or not because it's.
It's probably looping. I think I have it set to loop. But that's the
Oh
video.
no, it's not. It's not. It's not.
Was it not looping?
Yeah, it was not looping. It's just they keep shooting
Okay.
2 rounds and they yeah the CC biggest rounds, 57 millimeter ones. They're really big.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're using a drone to correct the fire on the other side of the river. On one of those islands, they will show the drone right now and where it's hit.
The shells are gigantic.
No, it's a huge gun, and it's 3 minute video in total. I think they will show the.
Yeah.
They will show the where are they hitting in a couple of seconds. Yeah, now I hear it. Oh no, that's my video. That's playing on my computer.
I don't think you can hear it in Discord, but you can hear it on YouTube.
Gotcha. I should have cut
Yeah,
it because I wanna edit and post. Like seems like it's not. It's repeating because at minute. Oh, you missed the point. They show where they hit at a minute at minute 110.
Okay. Well, we'll go to 105 or something. We need a lot of propellant to make the shell go.
Yeah, those are those islands over there, and you can see they're hitting something with it. It's not really best quality, but hey, those are not professional video editors. They're really poor video editors, I would say. And yeah, that's basically there is not much. But it's one of those islands that
Yeah.
between the Kherson and
Maybe we
Kakhovka and
can
Aleshki.
when it zooms out a little, we might be able to figure out what island it is. It doesn't really zoom out enough, I don't think. It's hard to tell which island it is when it's zoomed in so far. I would guess it's this bigger one, but I don't know. Maybe it's one of these. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But but yeah. So the people who just showed up to the stream, I started the stream late because I was having some technical issues with Google, as you do, and we were just talking about what's going on the Dnipro River. First off, just to step back a little bit, Nova Kakhovka is not abandoned, uh, and this little area here, which I don't know what it's called, it was there's a nice little video of Ukraine taking out positions there, and then we were just watching another video of Ukraine shooting somewhere else around here. Don't really know where. Um, yeah. So and then also in Holoperstan, Ukraine took out some sort of ammo stash or something. So yeah, that's kind of the Dnipro news that I have. There is not.
I think
Oh,
once again, can you zoom in? Can you zoom in
okay.
into that? Into the where you said the stash was into Gola Pristan.
Yeah.
Um, did you see this in the news or was it?
I don't actually know where the stash was. I just kind of put a random marker. It could be anywhere. I just kind of.
Right. Let me. When did it happen? Today?
It
Yesterday?
happened today.
Or you don't know?
Well, the news came out.
Let
The
me.
news said it happened today.
All right. I
I
think actually I have what I can show you what happened there.
okay.
Give me a second. It's gonna be another video.
Okay.
It's gonna be a bit more. I think people may geolocate it. I just didn't bother spending too much time on it.
Yeah.
Geolocating, but that's one of our drones that helped take out the stash. Give me one second. There is once again nothing bloody, nothing like that, but
Okay. So the other gun was 75 millimeters, right? The
sorry.
the anti-aircraft gun was at 75 millimeters.
No, I think that was 57.
Okay, 57.
S60. It's called S60. Thank you to Calibre Obscured. He helped me identify it.
So 57 millimeter. That 57
Yep.
millimeter is a really good gun. uh,
Yeah, it's a huge gun. Bradley has 25 millimeters, so it's more than
yeah, the
two
I
times
know
bigger.
I know that the 57 it has good armor penetration as well. It can take out tanks. Like you could take out an Abrams with that thing if you shot it from the side.
Can you open the check your email?
Okay. Okay, I'll open it with sound again. The sound only works if I play it in VLC, which isn't the worst. There's no sound. Okay, well,
So this is somewhere on those. I think it was near. It was Hola Prison. So there are two dudes that they were spotted with one of the drones that we helped provide. And then this is you can see the bridge.
yeah,
And they found that it was a stash with their ammo in that house, and they brought one of the more harder hitting UAVs that can take the payload and helped and destroyed it.
nice. Yeah, maybe,
It's not the best quality of the video. Maybe it's the same events. I don't know, but it's
yeah, maybe it
definitely
is.
over there. But this happened, I think, yesterday.
Okay,
I forgot about this video because they tend to send me. Yeah, see, they're hitting that house. They tend to send me those videos when I sleep, and I wake up during the night and check out. Oh, I got this. I got this video. Great, let me watch it in the morning. And then because I was sleeping, I don't remember anything, and because I read the message, there is no notification that I have a new message.
yeah, yep,
And I lose them all the time. Yeah, so it was a small stash that they destroyed. They told me
yeah.
maybe that was it.
There's no borscht in this video. so we're fine.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, that's cool. So yeah, that's somewhere over here. Uh, Whatever. Okay, so and then more just kind of like random news. I didn't have time to geolocate this, although I do have the video of it. But there was like an explosion in this town in Crimea. I don't actually know what the explosion was. It might not even be military related. I'm not really sure. Um, but it was there, and then there was a an assassination attempt in Melitopol where there was like I think it was a car bomb. I don't think he died though. So yeah, that's kind of weird news for today. And then we could move on to oh what was this again? Oh yeah, this uh, right in this position here. I don't know if this happened today, but it's just interesting to mark it. But right here, um, Russia fired a one of their little suicide drones at a M777 howitzer right there. Um, I don't know if that was today, but the video came out today. So that's kind of all the weird news. Um, Now to get to like actual news. Did my bottom banner move? Uh, Maybe whatever. I have no control over my bottom banner anymore. So uh oh, maybe I did move it. Did I move it this way? One sec. Yeah, I did move it. Here. There you go. All better. Anyway, so in the area of Kupiansk, um, I got a map update that I talked to two officers in this area who told me that this is the situation here. So I'm going to move to the other version of this map, so I think it's easier to see this way. But they told me that Harenikivka, Ukraine withdrew all their forces from here because they determined that the town was too dangerous to hold. They basically just they decided that it wasn't worth people dying to hold this town. So they just took everybody out, and now they're defending it with basically ATGMs. So that they have just anti-tank missile systems set up all on the shore, on the hills here, shooting across the river at anything that moves. Um, Russia cannot enter the town either. They're stuck in the forests. The forest is basically just all this red area. Uh, that's kind of the situation here. Uh, Matsutivka is a heavily contested gray area. Um, this really surprised me. Lemon Pershi being more controlled by Ukraine than Russia was surprising to me, but also that Ukraine has pushed all the way up in this forested area. They're kind of wrapping around Vilshana at this point. Um, so this whole area, this is confirmed from multiple sources. This is what the area actually looks like. Moving on a little bit east, Yehidna is completely contested. Nova Terasivka and Orlanska, those are both controlled by Russia, although it is contested like all the way up to the edge of the town. So even the outskirts of these two towns are contested. Um, with Pershno Trevneva, uh, Ukraine was at one point in the outskirts and they were pushed back a little bit. So now they're like a few hundred meters away from the outskirts. And down towards this area of Vladimirka, I can't say that, sorry. I don't actually know if this town is contested or controlled by Russia. And then we get down to our familiar Novoselivska, where we know Ukraine holds Novoselivska and Kuzymivka is held by Russia. So that is kind of the update for this area. This is all kind of basically,
There was some small advancement in
yeah,
your Kuzymivka.
yeah.
It was small, yeah, but our guys had to change, dig new positions. They complained a lot to me about that because they moved forward a bit. And
So they did they move like down like over here?
around it, yeah, around it. Not exactly inside the town itself, but more around it.
Okay, interesting. Um, but yeah, in this Kupiansk area, the Russians have taken really kind of catastrophic casualties in their prior attempts to move through this forest mainly, or really they took the casualties trying to move around the forest, and then they were forced to go into the forest itself where they did not want to go. They've taken catastrophic casualties though, and I think a lot of their casualties were kind of back here, not so much in the front line. They're more back here. They've lost a lot of artillery. They've lost a lot of trucks. Like those are the sorts of things that Ukraine has been targeting with their artillery. Ukraine has very good artillery in this area. A lot of their better artillery crews. So they've been doing a ton of damage. They've weakened Russia to the point where they may not be able to even defend these frontline towns anymore, and there's a possibility of a Ukrainian attack here. Not I don't like not like a big offensive, just attacking. So some of these towns might change hands soon. Um, this area like between Kuzumivka and Makivka, I don't really know anything. uh, there's just like there's never any news here. The most recent news was like months and months and months ago of Ukrainian shelling here. They shelled like this
Well,
house.
I can tell you the news here.
Okay,
I have my friend pilot over there. They found one of Russian BTRs and trucks, supply trucks. They were just there is no like too much action, but they found this supply truck and BTR. Supply truck was stuck, and BTR came in to pull it out. They found it and shelled it, damaged but did not destroy. The crew ran away. The BTR stayed there, but it was not like complete damage. But I don't know if they have not recovered it yet. That was yesterday, I think.
interesting. Which town was this? Do you know?
BTR was not in the town itself.
But
It was on the outskirts, but I don't
of
remember. It was north.
okay,
No, I don't cannot tell you the town.
okay. I was just curious. Like, okay, I was curious like where here that would happen. All right. But anyways, there a video came out I think yesterday or the day before from Makivka of a Russian tank driving from this school up to around here, where it was blown up by a rocket. And I'm almost certain that that video is from October. So like all the Russians were saying like, oh, this is proof that Russia's in the town, but I'm pretty sure it's from October. And in fact, I think it's from October 15th. I think I was just looking at the maps, and I think on the 15th I could find the tank driving, like the tank, like like the markings on the ground from the tank. Although the quality of the image was really low, so I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, uh, and generally speaking, Russia is trying to push west towards Makivka, although I don't know how far they've gotten. I don't think they've really gotten much further than I have it marked. It's possible they're in this gray area somewhere, but generally speaking, this area is just getting shelled a lot, and I don't think there's too much super heavy combat. The Russians kicked the Ukrainians out of these three little forest strips, so they kind of reconstituted this line here that they've been trying to keep for a long time. And beyond that, not too much is going on. They The Russians are attacking from Shipilivka. I think yesterday they attacked from Shipilivka. They're trying to push down towards the Seversky Donetsk River, kind of like in this kind of arc. They say that they reached the river, but I don't believe them. And although, I mean, honestly, like, isn't this the river? So I think like even attacking at all. Anyway, so I don't. When they say they reached the river, they're claiming that they reached this part of the river, which I think is bullshit. But they may be on this part of the river, which isn't really saying much. So anyway, so and there's just a whole bunch of fighting in this forest. I don't really know where the front line is anymore. Everybody says kind of the front line's in a different spot. We have videos of Ukrainians in this kind of little weird two squares area. It's easy to remember because it's two little squares. But I don't know if they're just passing through or even when that was. But so yeah, that's kind of it. And then near Verkno-Kamyanska, this little forest strip may have been captured by the Russians, but I'm not really sure. It's not super interesting what's happening here. It more or less stabilized because Ukraine sent a ton of reinforcements into this area. The reinforcements who were sent there were very upset about it, but they were sent there, and it stabilized the whole situation. It went from being very dangerous for Ukraine, where there was real a real threat that Russia was going to take Terny, Yampolivka, and Torska, and maybe Yampol. Um, there was a very real threat. A lot of officers were very upset, and then they reinforced it, and obviously none of that happened, and everybody's happy now. So yeah, uh, and then there's kind of attacking near Vasily and some fighting near Vasukivka, but more or less everything is more or less constant in this kind of northern area. So now we're getting to Bakhmut. Um, I know, Constantine, if you want to lead off with anything about Bakhmut, because I feel like I'm talking a lot.
No, keep talking. I
Okay.
don't have much to add out of
Okay.
Bakhmut. I heard last news like on Sunday.
Okay. So in Bakhmut, um, there was one story today that I don't know if it's actually true, but it's kind of interesting and it kind of seems true, but I can't really totally vouch for it. But there's a story that Wagner has withdrawn their assaults from Orikovo-Vasilivka, that they've Wagner has taken was taken out of this area, and this left it to, I think, like the 57th or whatever in the Russians. So I think it's the Russian 57th motorized infantry or something like that. Um, the Russians are, according to this report, the Russians are unwilling to assault, so they're just kind of stuck. Like they're doing kind of like small assaults where they send in like little forces, and they don't really. It's not really a full intention on attacking. And that is what they're claiming, and then this is coming from Russians themselves. So I don't. And again, I don't actually know if that's true, but that's what they're saying. Um, and uh, I have really no news on Ryhorivka. or Bodanivka, um, or really Hromove. Um, there's lots of news about Hromove where it seems that every day Ukraine claims that they have a successful counterattack where they push Russia exactly the same distance away from the town every single day. And maybe that's true, or maybe they did it once and they just keep saying it over and over again, or maybe I don't know. I don't like constant like. What do you think of that? Because it seems every day there's a report that Ukraine counterattacked and pushed Russia like it's like 1.5 kilometers from this road. It's like they always push Russia like 1.5 kilometers into this forest like every single day. What do you think, Constantine?
So it's probably it's just mobile defense. They push in, they move out. It's not like you push out and hold it. There is no point of holding it pretty much because you have to have really large forces there and commit a lot. And those positions are not really that well defendable. So it's back and forth. That's why I think you hearing that. I've seen. I had a video from there of the Shelling a couple of maybe a week ago. My friend was there. He was rotated out right now. And yeah, Russians are attacking exactly like on your lines, and we could, but it's more like artillery counterattacks, and more like we identified position, hit, strike them a couple of times. Uh, tank came out and worked into them and moved back. And Russians moved back as well. It's usually how it happens. So that's why you can report this counterattacks every day.
Yeah. So moving moving into Bakhmut, um, the one of the major attacks. There's kind of three major places where Russia is attacking right now, and by Russia I really mean Wagner. The first is this northern road here, um, where I think it's this outer road, this outer one, although it might be the second one. Anyway, one of these two roads is basically the front line right now. I have this whole kind of area as a gray zone, but I think Ukraine initially didn't know how far back they were going to be pushed, and it seems that the Russians kind of ran out of steam somewhere between like these two uh, roads here on this curve, and Ukraine has been steadily reinforcing this position and building this up as kind of their main line of defense. So this kind of curve here, and I don't know if it's this inner road or this outer road, but either way, this kind of curve is the main line of defense for Ukraine in the northern part of Bakhmut. And then obviously there's this reservoir that is separating their flank from the Russian assault to the north. Um, so this is kind of Ukraine's main line here, and Russia is really kind of desperately trying to attack and break through this, but they just can't. This kind of southern area that's south of these in this southern part of the industrial zone. I don't really have any news here. I don't really know what's going on there, but I know this curve is kind of the main fighting. And then to the south, these four roads right here, or these five streets or whatever, uh, this is Russia's main attack in the south, where Ukraine is kind of pretty heavily defending this kind of arc here, especially these like four or five streets. So this here is the main southern attack. So you have this kind of curve in the north, and these like four or five streets in the south, and those are the two primary attacks. And then there is the third attack, which is this school. The school is one of the hottest areas in Bakhmut at the moment. where Ukraine is defending the school and Russia is attacking it from two sides. And then behind the school, right here, I think, right? Yeah, here is that airplane that Ukraine blew up recently. So Russia really wants to take this school and then push into the airplane and take this airplane. I don't know why they want the airplane anymore because it doesn't exist, but I guess for propaganda purposes. And then and also obviously this is the one of the main supply roads that is not used anymore, but it's still a road. Um, so so yeah, that's kind of all the information I have about Bakhmut. The northern part is kind of settling down into kind of more of a static position. The southern part is very dynamic, where Russians can move up a few houses in the morning and then get pushed back in the afternoon, and then takes a few of them back in the evening. Like that's kind of the very dynamic fighting back and forth all the time. There's the school, I think, is likely more static in that it's kind of more of a defensive position, and this kind of northern part is developing into a more and more fortified, as Ukraine has been fortifying it with more troops and whatnot. And then this kind of northeastern part, this southern part of the industrial zone, I don't really know what's going on there. So, so yeah, that's kind of everything about Bakhmut at the moment. Um, there is there was a rumor today or recently. Well, there's a few rumors. The first rumor that comes to mind is that Wagner is leaving Ukraine, which I think is completely false. Personally, I think it's totally false. Um, but a lot of people have been talking about that. There's another rumor that, and this is attached to Bakhmut, but just bear with me for a second. There's another rumor that Ukraine is going to attack Belgrade, um, and the idea would be that you could attack Belgrade and take the city, and then trade it for I don't know like I don't know like Kherson, like Zaporizhia, I don't know, like you could trade it for something. And the reason that is attached to the Bakhmut is that, and this is kind of like like a deep conspiracy theory, but the idea is that attacking north would force Russia to divert not only its resources within Russia, within Ukraine, or but also their resources within Russia to defend Bakhmut, and this would somehow alleviate the attack on Bakhmut. And
Well, if
this is
Russia
it's just a
did not have nuclear weapons, that would probably be
I know,
true.
but this is all a very convoluted conspiracy theory, and guess who this? Guess who started the conspiracy? It's Prigozhin. So, um,
It was Trump saying that he's going to be arrested and Ukraine is going to be invading Belgorod.
yeah. So that's all a very convoluted story. And then there's another thing that people are talking about regarding Bakhmut, and that is a counterattack of some sort in Bakhmut, which personally I don't really see coming. Like there's localized counterattacks, like pushing into this forest. You could take this forest or something, or maybe you could attack and take this town back, or maybe you take that town, or maybe take this town. Like little counterattacks I could see. But when they say a counterattack in Bakhmut, they're not talking little counterattacks. They're talking a big counterattack to like take everything back, and I just don't see that coming. Personally, I think that's very far fetched.
So, if you don't mind, the counterattack may happen, but I don't think that's like that's where it's going to happen. There are other places, and it's quite obvious. We'll see, and I don't think Ukraine right now at this given moment has capability to counterattack near Bakhmut. Otherwise, Russians would be, um, how I would put it, you would not let them in if you have capability for counterattack. Also, but what I can tell you also is that uh, there is no need for counterattack when Russians are harming themselves by doing these attacks. I mean, there are so many videos right now of Russians suffering losses, both human losses and vehicles. Even in Bakhmut, where I think it's right now they managed to somewhat stabilize. Still, their losses are really high, and while they are still, culminating, still coming to that point where still losing the troops for gaining basically nothing, there is no need for a counterattack. My personal belief that when they actually exhaust themselves, that's where the counterattack can happen. And I don't think they have exhausted. I think they're making like a quick operational pause at this given moment, but they do have still forces for a couple of maybe a months or so of attacking nearby Bakhmut. And it surprises me that Ukrainian forces are still capable to hold this and not withdrawing. Um, which is, I honestly I did expect us to pull out and say, okay, we can have Bakhmut for now. You spend enough resources on it. Let's live to fight another battle.
Yeah. So I agree. I think Russia will continue attacking. I I saw a interesting thing today in
I'll be
Volga.
back in a second, Andrew.
Okay,
Sorry.
there's an interesting article today in Volga, um, where they were doing a Q&A and they answered a whole bunch of questions. One in particular was about a when will Ukraine launch their attack, and they basically said that they don't expect a Ukrainian attack for about 7 to 8 weeks from now, which would mean
Who said that? Sorry,
uh,
I'm back and I missed. Who's
Vol-
not expecting?
Volya. So they don't expect a Ukrainian attack for about 7 to 8 weeks, which would put it in May. Um, roughly, it would be like the beginning of May. Um, and the reasoning for that was first, Russia has not exhausted itself yet, and they expect Russia to keep attacking for a few more weeks. Second, the weather isn't good enough for an offensive yet, and it probably will take a few weeks to have good enough weather. And third, Ukraine is not prepared to attack yet, and they still have to go through the preparations to do such an attack, which will in itself take a few weeks. So they think it will be about 7 to 8 weeks from now, which will be in May. Um, I personally think
What does Girkin say?
I don't know what our friend Igor has to say about
I
timelines
think he
anyway.
said mid April. I think I heard him say mid April.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, I think he did. I think I remember that now. Personally, I think that's too optimistic. I think like late April is when Ukraine will begin preparing, and then they will attack after that. That's my opinion. I really think like June. Um, but
Yeah,
and
my personal take is going to be probably in the summer. I don't believe that we're going to be prepared properly to do it before. But who knows?
and
You know.
speaking about conscription, we could talk about that for a moment. Recently, Russia has moved to a conscription model where they are conscripting, I believe, 20,000 people at a time. And I can't remember if that's is that 20,000 a month or 20,000 every other month or whatever it is. It's but they're moving to 20,000 at a time, and from what I understand, they are trying to get as many volunteers as possible, and not they're trying to not force people to join. And the way that they're getting volunteers is by doing things like offering to pay off your debts, to pay off your loans, to pay you lump sums of money, to pay off your credit card debts or whatever. That's they're trying to do those sorts of things to influence people into joining willingly, with their goal being they want they want the men to think about all of the things that they could buy with the money. Like that's kind of their psychological goal, is that to not make them think of going to a war zone. They want them to think of all the things you could buy with all this money. You'll be so rich. And it's only a 6 month contract, you know. So that is the current Russian strategy to meet their.
So another angle at it is not only they want to use the money like to get them in. It's also it's much easier to morally if a person has volunteered. It feel you can much easier control him, and his commander can always say like, okay, you're gonna pay us everything back that we paid for you, and alternatively, they use this pressure to say, "Well, we did not force you to be here. You came here yourself. So now go ahead and die in that trench." That's what they cannot do with the conscription guys. And of course, when we talk about the those who are conscripted, now you have their families who are actually calling and endlessly pressuring officials, saying that, oh, give us our husband, our father back. Why did you force him to do this? If he comes by himself, you don't have that problem. You people will not call, and it's much easier in terms of social and legal and all aspects that make things easier.
And the reason that they're trying to stay to 20,000 people at a time is because they just don't have the logistic supply line to supply more than 20,000 at a time. They don't have trucks, they don't have tanks, they don't have infantry fighting vehicles. They don't have enough trainers. They just don't have the logistical capacity to do more than 20,000 at a time. And whether they can actually do 20,000 is kind of still up in the air. They might not even be able to do 20,000 at all. They may have to do fewer. Who knows? So
20,000 is a huge number. No matter,
it is.
it's really large number. Because you must, no matter how much you pay, you must understand that people understand that what is happening. There is a meat grinder happening there, and they have quite. People are returning right now and telling the stories of what's happening at this war, and it does not play well for the recruiters. So getting 20,000 right now is really hard.
Yeah. So yeah, so it's just and yeah, when I say 20,000, it's in comparison to their last at least their words when they said they wanted to draft like 150,000 or 300,000 or 400 or 500 or whatever. Like they had all these big aspirations to get hundreds and hundreds of thousands all at once and send them all, and it would all work out somehow. And their aspirations have been tempered down to groups of 20,000, which is still a lot. It's a lot to train and to arm. Where are you going to get all the helmets? Where are you going to get all the uniforms? Like it's just a lot to have that many people. So but yeah, but 20,000 is a lot smaller than 300,000. So anyway, so that is that's kind of the conscription news. Um, getting back to Bakhmut, to the western side of the southwestern side of Bakhmut, Russia is still attacking Ivanivska with minimal, if any, progress. In fact, Ukraine has launched counterattacks and pushed Russia back a little bit here and there. Russia is trying to attack towards Chasiv Yar, mostly towards this highway, with no success, or limited at best success. Like they may have moved a few hundred meters here and there, but that's about it. And also they're trying to push west from this canal. There was a video that was came out today, and I tried really hard to geolocate it, but I couldn't find it. I think it was here, but I'm not sure. But anyways,
Show
it
us the video.
was
Show us the video.
I I don't even have the video. I don't think. I don't have it saved on my desktop. But it was basically just Ukraine shelling a bunch of Russians who were running around. I think it was right here, but I couldn't like nail it down. Um, but yeah, it was either right here or uh it may have been here. I couldn't figure it out. I was really frustrated. It's been like an hour and a half trying to figure out where it was. But anyways, but yeah, that's kind of all my Bakhmut news. There's they're trying to push from Mayorsk west as well, towards Pivnichna, but they're not really having much success. There's a lot of shelling around Zalizna and Pivdena, and then I learned that there were two Dalivkas here, which was very confusing because I have looked at this part of the map a lot, and I always saw this northern one, and then and there's the day when I saw the southern one, and I was like, wait a second. But anyways, so yeah, that's my Bakhmut news. Now we can move on from Bakhmut, I guess. Um, north of Avdiivka, um, north of Avdiivka, Novo Bakhmutivka, um, is probably completely in Russian control at this point. I'm not entirely sure where the front line is here anymore. I think the entire town is now under Russian control. I think Ukraine withdrew. Um, and Krasnohorivka is also under Russian control. Like this town is much easier to understand in 3 dimensions, so I'll go to 3 dimensions here. Because this town is kind of like underground. If you look at the map, you'll see what I mean. It's like a hole in the ground. Because like this is all kind of like a plateau, and then like Krasnohorivka is down there. So Ukraine has long defended this whole high ground. It's nothing new. Like it dates back like 8 years or whatever, where they've had defenses all around Krasnohorivka. But now Russia controls Krasnohorivka, which I guess is new. But now they are now fighting uphill into defensive positions, which is kind of rough. Because you see, if you move into Krasnohorivka, I'll imagine fighting up these hills. The hills aren't too tall, but it is steep. And not only that, but the other side of the hill is flat. So it kind of makes it harder because you can't see what's beyond the hill. Like you only see sky, you can't see. So it's just hard moving up these. And then of course there is this whatever that is. It's like a pile of slag or something. I don't know what these are, but that's pretty tall, and Ukraine can go up there with their little ATGMs or whatever and shoot you whenever they feel like it. So that's kind of the situation in Krasnohorivka. It's difficult for Russia. People people were acting like losing Krasnohorivka meant that all of these towns west of it were suddenly instantaneously lost, where like the ISW said like Stepove and like Berdichi were both lost like the same day somehow, and then like Novo Kalinove was also like on the verge of collapsing. Like this whole area was collapsing and collapsing until everybody realized that that was all complete nonsense. So so Krasnohorivka. I don't know what else to say. Um, in Avdiivka itself, Kamyanka. Kamyanka is likely captured by Russia. Ukraine doesn't even mention this town anymore. It is very small. It got flanked. Their primary defenses were all to the east, and then suddenly they got attacked from the north, which was not good. Um, so I think Kamyanka is captured. Russia today officially announced its capture. Not that I really put any weight in their official announcements, but I do think it is probably captured. Um, Avdiivka itself, not too much news. Severna is under assault. Russia's been attacking up these forest strips for weeks now, really. And they're moving north towards Severna. They're moving north towards Lestochkina, and they are trying to move east towards this micro district of Avdiivka. I can't remember what it's called, but this little tiny micro district. Trying to move there too, but it's hard to move through these fields. They're very wide open, and Ukraine has lots of artillery covering it, and the same sort of issue in Vodiana. They tried to move towards Nedolove, and they got cut down in these giant fields. And Pervomaisky, I think Ukraine controls this part of Pervomaisky backwards, and everything else is contested. And then beyond that, there is not too much to say. Novelska is no change. You want to see the elevation differences west of Krasnohorivka? Okay. Um, see, once you get out of Krasnohorivka, it's more or less flat. It's just the Krasnohorivka part that's like underground. It's weird. Um, yeah, the this train is kind of this railway is kind of the high ground, which is normal. I think you usually put trains on the high ground. Yeah, that's Krasnohorivka. It's more or less flat except for the town itself, which is like underground. Um, and then we can get to uh, Marinka, where there has been some interesting stuff in Marinka lately. I've been marking it on my map. I'm going to open it up. All these. Oops. Oh no, what happened? Things happened. Anyway, so Marinka. As I said, I think I have to go back more days. I think I have to go back more. Um, there have been a lot of geo-confirmed kills around Marinka. Yeah, okay. So here, um, this was a tulip, a was a 240 millimeter mortar, was destroyed right here. In that's I don't even know, that's not really Marinka, is it? But it's the Marinka area. Um, and then here was I think a BTR was destroyed by Ukrainian drones. Their little suicide drones, and this spot here was taken out by Ukrainian artillery. And here it was taken out by Ukrainian artillery. So there's lots of geolocated footage of these deeper strikes beyond Marinka, which I just find interesting. There was a video that came out today about Marinka, or not really about it, but it was depicting Marinka, which I found interesting. I kind of made a tweet about it. I'm going to pull up that tweet now. Here. So Marinka, this is a screenshot of this video where you can see this pond and this water, whatever pond, I guess, in the streets of Marinka, and it happens right here. The drone was somewhere here. I don't really know where the drone was, but it was hovering somewhere around there. You could see all of these areas, and then beyond I found it interesting because the drone more or less depicted the lines of control for both Russia and Ukraine. Although in their video, they were trying to the drone was kind of trying to tell you, look at all the things we've captured, when in reality most of it is still held by Ukraine. And this is my map of it. I kind of hovered roughly where the drone was, and so yeah, so that was that. I don't have the video to show you offhand easily. Unfortunately, I forgot to save it, but it's not too interesting beyond that one photograph anyway. Here, in this part of Marinka, Russia did a push of a bunch of tanks. I think there were 3 or 4 tanks pushing down these streets, and they were all destroyed. I believe it was on Ivana Franka Street. I think it was like right here. But yeah, that is kind of all of the news about Marinka. It's not super interesting beyond. I personally find it fascinating that Ukraine is taking out so much artillery far behind Marinka, especially using their suicide drones to do it, which is interesting in its own right. But yeah, what do you think, Constantine?
Well, you were talking so smoothly that I don't want to interrupt you. I have I have news from a friend near Marinka today. They destroyed a tank. I even posted a video about it. They shared that was a film from one of the drones we have supplied. So, but it's a bit south from Marinka, I would say.
Yep.
There is. Yep. So that's all I know. I don't know much more about it, but it was not where you should not that street. It was somewhere in the fields in the south, near. I think it was closer to Pobeda somewhere, a bit, yeah, over here, somewhere over here probably.
Okay. But yeah, I really have no real news about Vuhledar. I I talked to I heard from a soldier that is in Vuhledar, and he drew this map for me. So this is a soldier from Vuhledar's map of Vuhledar. He basically says that the Russians are in these forest strips here mostly, and they have tried to push up this forest strip, and Ukraine once held this forest strip. By once, I mean like a week or 2 ago, and Russia has pushed them out of the forest strip. So this is now a gray area. Beyond that, Ukraine has taken control of this northern dacha, and that's about it. A few days ago, I went through. I went through and geolocated some strikes in Mikilska. So Ukraine has been taking out this building and this building and this building and this building, this is school, took up that building with artillery. So these are all geolocated strikes. So yeah, that's kind of my Vuhledar news. It's not too impressive, but that's all I got. Um, and moving on west, recently, Ukraine has had its sights on Rybitna, which is south of Orikhiv and south of Novodanilivka. They're pushing south from Novodanilivka, um, partially along this highway, partially kind of along whatever this kind of lowland thing is. And they've also been pushing kind of from the direction of Mala Tokmaka. So they're kind of pushing in three angles towards Rabitna. These are not really offensive attacks. It's more reconnaissance and force. I don't know if they've had any success in this. But they're kind of probing the Russian defenses, and I think probing is kind of the wrong word. But I want to move to Nasteryanka first. Uh, Supposedly, Ukraine pushed south from Novoandrivka into Nasteryanka, and they claim that they took the first line of defense, and are now occupying it. I don't know if that's true. It's kind of a thing that they say sometimes. Um, Personally, I don't think Ukraine is preparing an offensive here. I think because that's what some people are saying. They're saying that Ukraine is preparing a they're shaping the battlefield for a future offensive. I don't think that's accurate. I don't think Ukraine is going to attack here. Um, Attacking here in particular, especially towards Tokmak, this is really Russia's strongest defensive position in the south. Um, we've talked about this triangle that is between Tokmak, Pologi, and Vasilivka. This triangle here is their strongest defensive position. It's defended in a lot of depth, many, many kilometers of depth. And I just don't see Ukraine attacking Russia's strongest position. It does not make sense to me.
So, what do you think about T-52, T-55, and T-54 tanks? There was a lot of discussion about that yesterday.
I am not impressed by a T-55, and much less by a T-54. Uh, I think that they're bad. Because
So, but
these
what is more like my question? More, do you think it's gonna go to the front in Ukraine, or it's maybe somewhere Russia, completing some order to Africa, to South America, or somewhere, or some Asia? There are countries that operate them, and so what do you think?
I think I think they're going to Ukraine. I I think I think they're going to Ukraine. I think they're going to be um I think they're initially going to go to the rear, so that they can push whatever's in the rear now to the front, and then eventually they're going to be pushed to the front. I think we're going to see T-55s in combat. Um,
So, what do you think if you're a Russian soldier, tank driver, and you get in your new remodeled T-55 while you read the news about Ukraine getting Leopard 2s and Abrams M1 tanks? What is your take on it? What do you say to your commander?
I would ditch the tank as fast as I could. I would be like I would try to detrack it. Like I would be turning as hard as I can in mud to get the track to fall off so I can ditch it and run away. That'd be my plan.
You can take a metal saw, that saws metal, and try to cut the tracks so it just falls apart. Well, I think it's gonna fall apart faster than you break it. I've been servicing and working on with Soviet equipment, maybe not tanks, but we work with tractors that were made at pretty much in the same factories. And I will tell you that those things break. Things break all the time. You have to have special magic to you to know how to run them, and it's I don't expect personally for these things to play any key role. Some people are saying that oh, you can use them for indirect fire, you can use them on static positions. Well, I can tell you that even getting them to the static position, digging out and running them on those static positions, because you still need your engine working for the turret to work. It's takes a lot of logistics. That engine, I think it has V2 engine, and V2 I don't mean two cylinder V. It's 12-cylinder engine that is it consumes so much gasoline that it just enormous. Enormous fuel eater. You even have a separate tank for oil, I think, that you have to feed it. And it's just an enormous logistical chain even to have it at the static position. And of course, even if you have it at the static positions, you still have to have four people crew that would have to maintain and drive it from one position to another, because static position does not mean it's static for 10 years. It's static. This month's here, next month is going to be in a different place, and you have to have a trained crew that knows what they're doing. And trained crews are very, very scarce right now. So I don't believe that it can be used in a static position successfully without. I mean, you will have so much stress on your logistics to keep them running on those static positions, and at the same time, the benefit of having that outdated 100 millimeter gun is really minimal. And when we talk about indirect fire, you must understand that once again, it's 100 millimeter gun. It's not 120 millimeter gun. It's not 125 millimeter gun. It has much less explosives on it. And when you fire an indirect fire, you have to have HE rounds there, or maybe incendiary rounds, which they don't. There aren't many of them. It's mostly HE rounds that's going to be used probably, and they don't hold too much explosives there in that round. Also, the precision of this tank is quite questionable when doing indirect fire. And in addition to that, you will have to have a lot of practice to start properly firing it indirectly, because I don't think they have it in their schools. Because, for example, in Ukraine, when we practiced it in 2015, indirect fire, we had to it was a special separate program how we learned to do this, and I don't believe Russians have this at the moment. So it's another logistical challenge that they'll have to use them indirectly. And also you must understand that it's basically MT-12 similar gun, 100 millimeter gun that weighs 48 tons. And it's much better to pull out something like some older artillery gun than pulling this 40 to 50 ton monster, because it no matter where you use it, it's gonna take it's gonna put huge logistical burden on your stressed out logistics. And they do have stressed out logistical chain, both fuel, both parts, both maintenance, both repair shops. They all have problems with that. If you add into theater 700 or 500 or even 200 obsolete 250 T55s, T54s, your logistic guys are just gonna go out and hand themselves on the nearest street. That's what I think about that.
There is one benefit to a T55. It is the easiest of the Soviet tanks to reload. So there's that benefit.
Yeah, and also the
That's
ammunition.
it.
I mean, it fires. It has 100 millimeter shells. I don't know when Russia produced them the last time. So it's you have to keep this in mind also when you're going to be firing 40, 50-year-old shells, quality of those and availability of those. And it may be even 60, 70-year-old shells because this tank came out in late 40s. They probably produce rounds for him up to 70s, so
No, no,
it's
no, no. They produced
yeah.
much later. Because the most recent variant of the T-55 came out in I think 1987.
1980s. I know they tried to modernize it in 2001, but it was like a disaster instead of
No, like
modernization.
I think 87. It may have been 86. Was like a real, like it was like a actual like real modification.
Yeah, but you don't know how much rounds they were producing back then. Producing the tank itself does not mean that you keep producing the rounds, and I have big doubts that they have properly maintained stockpiles, and they will go through them pretty quickly as well, and of the newer ones. And in once again in a couple of months you will have, unless those tanks break and you don't use those rounds. But yeah, I don't believe that it's gonna have much effect on the battlefield because it's simply like it's really hard to maintain, and it gives you too little benefits. And in tanks, you have running tanks. It's such an enormous logistical challenge that you have to have everything really well planned, designed, so that your burden that you put on your logistical system is less than the benefits that you get. So because if you're degrading your other military units because you're running T-55 in the area, and everyone has to maintain them and fuel them, and others don't get enough fuel because everyone is focused on keeping those 50-55s running, you're not really winning much. And it's more of a disaster because you will have people doing that. You will have to have fuel. You'll have to have part chains, warehouses, etc. And logistics are a big problem for everyone in the war, and especially this Russia is not immune to those issues, and we've seen them have a lot of problems with logistics.
Oh yeah, this one. It's a flamethrower.
Flamethrower.
Uh,
Yeah.
it's a flamethrower. But but yeah, it's I am not impressed. I think the T-55 was a really bad tank. I know that there are some people like I've talked to them that they love the T-55, that they served in a T-55 and they loved it. I know that
Oh, well,
the Finland had T-55s, and I think it was Finland. They scrapped their T-72s but kept the T-55s. So that says something. But eh, not impressed. And also the people who liked the T-55, they were in modernized T-55s. I don't think they're sending modernized T-55s to Ukraine. And if they do, that's fine. They'll send. I'm sure that they will send modernized T-55s. But do you know what's going to happen? They're all going to blow up, and then they're going to send just normal T-55s. And you're just going to have a bunch of T-55s running around with no modifications. I guarantee it. Just like we saw with the T-62. Just like we saw them, they sent modernized T-62s, and everybody was like, oh, they're just sending the modernized ones. See, they're not sending the original ones. And then like a month later, there were non-modernized T-62s. There's like T-62As running around with like no ERA, no anything, just They didn't. Some of like they didn't even have
And
like
then,
thermals or anything. No night sights.
what you must understand that Russia does not have real capability to modernize them properly, because the key modernization of this tank would be a firing system, sights, and engine. And engine is the key here. They don't have any other engines.
Yeah,
They can try to put new modernized ones that they put on T-72s, because I think it's pretty much a similar engine, but they have problems with those modernized V2 because they use them for T-70s, so they don't have enough of those as well. And when we're talking about firing systems, they don't have enough of those as well to modernize. And problems with the oil, like oil seals, O-rings, etc., to keep it running, are also going to be huge issue for them. So I don't believe it's going to be modernized. I believe that they may strap some ERA armor on it. They may change some bearings, change some seals, make sure it's running. That's, I think, gonna be top of that what they can do. Maybe they can install new radio if they have it on it, but that's probably gonna be everything. All the modernization that they have, and proper modernization of this tank, it was done by Israel, was together with Slovenia, I think. That's actually the ones that Ukraine got. I think like 20, 28, or 30 of them. Those were pretty good, but it was totally different. It was completely different modernization. They changed the engine. They installed 850 horsepower. I think. Let me check. I had some some spreadsheet related to this. Yeah, they I think installed. Give me 1 second.
yeah, this here is the modernized T-55, the T-55 AM. Um, I'm sure Russia will send a few of these. I have no doubt about that. But then once they blow up, which I don't think will take very long, they're gonna start sending probably some of these, which is earlier version, and then they're gonna go to the old faithful, the old T-55. We're gonna see a bunch of unmodified T-55s with no thermals, no night sights. There no stabilizer. Good luck.
Yeah, so the difference is between the Israeli proper modernization is that, first of all, Israel is installed on it its own new ERA system. ERA, I can send you a picture of it. It looks completely different and much more. It even looks better, give me 1 second, please. I'm gonna send it to you on Twitter. I think you prefer to receive those things on Twitter. Give me 1 second, please. That's the guy.
Yeah, Israel does this thing where they actually take care of their vehicles. It's weird.
Yeah, in and this is Slovenia. So this is the picture I showed. I sent it to you on Twitter. It looks totally different because it has another ARA system. They installed 105 millimeter L7 gun, which is much better than what Soviets had on their on original T-55. They also 1 second. Yeah, they also I think installed new engine on it that works that has much better, more horsepower, and they installed firing and firing system and sights and how to say this, two-axis stabilization system that allows it to fire on the move. So it's like completely different tank. It's so different tank, and Russians, they don't have this capability. They cannot upgrade it to it. So I don't believe that it's gonna be. It's gonna help Russia in any way, and it's really old tank, and they don't have capability to upgrade it. Yeah, it looks much more badass, even like by the looks of it. I think basically they left there only the hull and the turret, and they even changed the barrel, the gun.
Yeah, and they put a thermal jacket in the gun too, which is nice.
Yeah, and I think with this T-55, how they can serve in this war, Russia probably gonna abandon them. Ukraine's gonna capture them and send more to Israel and Slovenia for proper modernization to look like that. That's their only future, I think.
Yeah, this T-55 AM is a Polish variant. It's true. Although I don't think the Soviet variant is very different. Yeah, honestly, I think one of the coolest looking tanks is the Oliphant. I'll find it. One sec. Because they just took like an ancient tank and just made it look really cool. I can't find a picture of it. I'm so disappointed. Uh, it's a rare tank. I think there's only like 8 of them. But anyway, took like a Centurion and like just covered it in more armor and made it look kind of like an Abrams.
Gotcha.
Anyways,
Yep. Do you have anything else to talk
yeah,
about, or
exactly.
we can?
This guy makes a good point. If you were going to spend the money modernizing a tank, not just the money, but the resources, you're taking the mechanics, you're taking thermal optics, which are expensive and hard to get your hands on, and all the ballistic computers and the guns and all the things, all the resources it takes to modernize a tank. Why would you modernize a T-55? Why wouldn't you modernize like a T-62? Modernize a T-72? Why would you modernize a T-55? I don't get it. I don't get it. Unless you're desperate. Unless it's the only thing left. That's the only way. Like, and even then, like, wouldn't it make more sense to take your T-55s and throw them directly into combat and take your T-72s out of combat and modernize them? and then once they're modernized, send them back into combat. Like, wouldn't that make more sense than modernizing in T-55? I don't get it. It makes no sense. It's a total waste of everything to modernize these things.
I don't believe that you can put them direct into the combat. I just don't. It's not. They're not gonna work. You have to retrain your crews. You have to add additional a crew member in there, and it just there is not tanks are so you can use improper use of tanks leads to disasters. Either they're going to be abandoned and you will lose both your logistic chains and your crews and all the investments you did into that, or you do it properly and then they can fight. And one of the biggest challenges right now for the tanks in this war is long combat, not just 3 tanks go in, they shoot each other and leave. And one dies and that's it, the combat is over. Right now, I've talked and I've seen the interview with one of the tank crews, and they say they had combat, they operated tank non-stop for like 12 hours, 15 hours. They just refueled it and went back in without stopping. And this is the challenge where the most tanks, especially older ones, they break. T-54s, T-72s, they break and as well. And running them so much requires literally very skilled crews that know what they're doing, that they don't abandon the tank when it just stops running. They have to be skilled mechanics as well. They have to know their baby really well, and then when it works. with this T-55s, I have big doubts that out of 20 of those T-55s can survive at least 3-4 hours of combat. Not because they're gonna be shot, but because something is gonna break. Like literally one lever. Or something like that is gonna break their exhaust canal is gonna rot through, and they will have gas from the engine exhaust gases going into the main compartment, or you will have oil seal leak somewhere, is gonna run out of oil and is gonna stall, or you will simply have your rotten electricity cables broken and your lights will not work, and if it's late night you still need them even if it's long, or even you use if you use IR lights with the night vision device. Something's gonna break on it, and out of 20 I believe like 3 to 5 is gonna survive that, considering the poor state in which Russia is have held them, and considering how much haste everything is being put on the front by Russia. So that's my take on it. And what is this tank? What is this Ragnar?
This is an Oliphant. I think it
Oh
looks
Jesus!
awesome. It's like the South Africans took a Centurion and they up armored it, and this is the result. So this is a tank that is peer to the T-55, a peer. So except it has the 105 gun. I think it has a 105. It has modern optics. A hunter killer thing. So I think this would completely dominate a T-55, and it looks cooler. I think it's like a lot of add-on armor here. It looks kind of like an Abrams, I think. But there's another important point here. The T-55's original rangefinders, it's a laser rangefinder, has a maximum range of 1,000 meters, which is not far enough. And obviously they're probably not there anymore. So if you're not giving it a
I
new rangefinder, good luck.
I purchased 50 for $60 2 weeks ago rangefinder for 100 meters in Cabela's.
Nice.
Yeah, and it works. Surprisingly, it works. Anyway, do you have anything else to talk about, or you want to wrap up the stream?
That's all I gotta say. Uh, yeah. So thank you everybody for coming and listening.
Yes, thank you very much. We had a great stream today. I think we had most people we had before on the YouTube. It was up to 100. Of course, on Twitch we had much more, millions. But
Millions.
we're gonna get more. I think as we go, we just gotta do it a bit more consistently.
Yeah.
Sure. Before you leave, show the tank I sent you on Twitter. I like it much more.
Okay. There you go.
It's my favorite tank. No, another one. I sent you just like a minute ago.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it yet. One sec. uh, the Merkava.
Yeah.
Like
I just like how it looks. It's a really cool tank, I think.
It's a very defensive tank. It's all about saving the crew. They just want to keep the crew alive. But it's an engine in the front, pretty thick armor in the front. It has internal armor, which is not all tanks have internal armor, but the Merkava has internal armor. Yeah, there you go. And then there's even a infantry fighting vehicle variant,
Yeah.
which not all tanks are infantry fighting vehicles. It's uncommon. And the Merkava is kind of famous for having the door to the tank in the back, like the entire back of the tank is a door, which is fun. Lots of space in the back. You could do all sorts of activities back there. Yeah, it's the Merkava. Also, they strap so many machine guns to this thing. It's they're like, I don't know how many machine guns we need. Let's put like 15 on there. They love Israel loves machine guns.
Who doesn't?
But yeah, that's the stream, everybody. We might. I don't know. Are we gonna stream this weekend? I don't know. What do you
I
think?
don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure. On Saturday, I know I'm gonna be out all day.
Okay.
So if we do it on Sunday,
All
I'm
right.
going to the range. Going to be doing some long range shooting.
Yeah. The someone asked about the back of the Merkava. It has a lot of room back there. It's a really big tank. With a big door back there. Not all tanks have like spare room. Usually they're pretty cramped, but that's the Merkava has a it kind of like opens up and there's like storage in here where you can put. I think usually you put like water. I think water would be your main bet, but that's your door. Uh, yeah, you can sit on it apparently. Uh, That's
Yeah,
a kind
it's
of a unique feature. Not all tanks look like this. All right.
yeah. You should. One more thing before we close. I don't think we have much more people. Oh, we still have 60 people watching. One more thing that I want to comment on. It's fun news. I want to end on fun news, and I don't know if it's true, but the Russian Ministry of Defense signed a contract with Steven Seagal to train their troops martial arts. And I send you the video, how it's gonna look like. Andrew, if you can share it in Twitter, I send it on Twitter to you as well. I really want people to see it,
Okay.
unless of course it has some proprietary element to it.
Okay. Let's.
Steven Seagal is gonna sue you.
This is hard for me to show. I have to. Okay. I gotta figure this out. It's hard for me to show this sort of thing.
Well, I just saw it on your screen, or it was not working.
It wasn't working right. Okay. Here we go. This is working.
Yep, this is one of the future.
There we go. It's gonna be great. Gonna teach them how to take steroids. He's gonna teach them all sorts of fighting techniques, how to take out aliens. You know how to.
Mike says that Steven Seagal is double agent.
Yeah, he's gonna teach them how to take out the collective West. Let him go. You
Stop laughing looking
you
at
can't
this.
see it. You can't see it because it's kind of a low quality video, but he is slapping bullets out of the air. Um,
Oh, so he's being shot right now by
yeah, he's being shot
from
at
multiple
right now.
acts.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
he's slapping the bullets out of the air.
it's not even Matrix style where they dodge them. He's just slapping them away. Gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
look how. All right. Yeah. So all right. So thank you for coming, everybody. We'll see you next time. Maybe sometime this weekend. All right.